And we're back. I got cut off. Sorry. Part two. Where were we? So, my first closing, no experience, little experience, little money. Okay. And at this time, I had set a goal for myself I was like hell bent. I was like, I'm going to have my first property within a year. Like, every day I was focusing on that goal. I set my mind, I had my why, I had my plan, execute it. Okay, so that's kind of where I was mentally. So I had hired my coach, and at this point, I had learned a little bit about what sub 2 was. Fundamentally, it sounds really simple, right? You take over somebody's mortgage, Lord Jesus. You take somebody's mortgage over subject to the existing financing in exchange for the deed. Then you pay the mortgage monthly yourself. Now, the mortgage stays in the homeowner's name. And you may ask yourself, well, why would somebody do that? Why would they trust you to do that? When it comes to sub 2, you have to have somebody that's high motivation. Remember, I always talk about motivated sellers, and be able to close. So somebody that's in foreclosure, they are definitely motivated. They may not always be quick to move because there really is a disconnect sometimes that they may be losing their home, but they are definitely motivated. So now I gave you the definition of, how foreclosures work in Georgia: 90 days, 30 days default. Foreclose. Okay, because of the moratorium, people had been going 1-2 years, maybe longer, and had not paid their mortgage. But what the government didn't tell people, they told me you didn't have to pay, but they made it seem like it was a modification, and it wasn't a loan modification. It was a forbearance, which means you don't have to pay your mortgage. However, when we lift this moratorium, all the monies that you had not paid, you got to pay that lump sum at one time, which wasn't really fair to people, because it's like, if I can't pay you now, if I got sick, I got COVID, I lost my job, how am I going to pay you this lump sum in the future? And the harsh reality is that's where we are right now with people in foreclosures, that now they're realizing that, oh, I have to pay all this money. And some people are, on average, usually foreclosure are behind $8,000-$10,000. Now people are behind so much more than that, unfortunately. And they're just like, they don't know what to do. So that's where we come in. So when we get the list, we skip trace the list, because the foreclosures just have the address, the name, and everything. If you look in the paper, you can see all this information. We skip trace the list, and then we campaign, we reach out to the owners. And so there are several ways you can reach out to owners. We do a text campaign. At the time, we did a text campaign. So this had to be around like March. So this was the March, not this year, but this was the March foreclosure list that was due to sell in April. No, I'm sorry, April foreclosure list that was due to sell in May. Okay, you're tracking, good. So got the list, got the campaign. So we sent a text blast out. Hey, this is what we do. We can help. What would you like to see happen? So I sent this text to this owner, and the owner had reached back out to me, and it was like, well, what are my options, and how can you help me? So I'm doing a live. You're fine. You're on mute. Can't hear. I'm doing a Zoom meeting at the same time. But again, I tell you, my team, we're getting this foreclosure list together. So the owner, pretty much, long story short, is she had gotten sick. She had gotten behind as soon as she purchased the property. So there was no equity in the property. And she basically had moved already. She threw in a towel, and she was like, I'm moving on with my life. She had pretty much abandoned the property. So I told her, I said, well, what do you want to see happen with the property? And she was like, well, I don't know. I don't know what my options are. So I literally laid out the options for her. I gave her the information. She was like, okay, let me think about what my options are. I said, cool, fine. So mind you, we only got 30 days to make whatever happen. So the owner pretty much ghosted me. I had not heard from her, but I was following up. Hey, what's going on? What would you like to see happen? And so maybe like week 2, 4 weeks now. So we're in the second week of the 30 days. And I followed back up with her. She was like, well, I'm gonna get back with you, still get back with me. So now we're in week 3 of before the foreclosure sale. Follow up again. Side note, follow up is very, very important. Very, very important when you're in this space, because, no today could be a yes tomorrow. But So week 3, she finally was like, well, I just, I don't care what happens. I said, well, this is what we can do. We can stop the foreclosure. The foreclosure doesn't have to go on your record. We can reinstate it. We can take the loan over subject to, so we can stop the foreclosure, and we can also help rebuild your credit because we're making monthly on-time payments. And that's going to help rebuild your credit to help you move on, because she had clearly already moved on. But I'm like, sis, don't let them take your house. Like, get something out of it, even though she didn't have any equity, right? So I made an offer to her, but I was like, let me go see the property, because you have to make these appointments. So the property was, it's like the Richmond Hill area, if you're familiar. It's like Richmond Hill area. So I drove down from Atlanta to the Richmond Hill area, went to go see the property. She wasn't there. Mind you, she had to move to another state. Sis had to move on. So she let me in through the security system, and I'm walking in this house. I don't know what to expect, but I'm just like, I'm determined. So I walked in, I got my friends on the phone. I was like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm in here. So she let me in. I walked through the property. I mean, the bones and structure and everything looked really good, but it was just kind of like, it was just a lot of stuff still in the house or whatever that the owner had left behind. So I took pictures, and then I submitted my deal to her. I made an offer to her, like, hey, this is what we can do. And she was like, well, okay, let me think about it. And I sent over the purchase and sale agreement. So now we're in the end of week 3 at this point, on a Sunday, I think it is. So I sent it to her. I said, you received it? She was like, yeah, I received it. Let me look at it. And she made a counter offer to the money that I was offering her. I think I offered her like $1,000. She made a counter offer of $3,000. Okay. So I was like, cool, that's fine. I'll figure it out, right? I'll make it work. So while all this is happening, my friend, she calls me, and she's in the emergency room because her boyfriend fell ill, like, really quickly. And I get to the emergency room and he dies. Like, I walk in the emergency room and he dies. And I'm standing there with my friend. She's on the phone. The doctors is telling her what's going on, and I'm standing there, and it just, so as you can imagine, it was like, whoa, what is happening, right? So at this point, I'm like, I can't leave my friend. And this lady, she had not got back to me. So I was like, I can't be concerned about that. And we had a week left before the foreclosure to even stop it. If you know anything about real estate and closing, you need at least 5 to 7 days to do title, right? Make sure it's a free and clear title. If any liens or anything like that, the title is clouded. So all this is happening, but I'm not leaving my friend's side. So Tuesday, I go, like, I'm with my friend. I leave the hospital with my friend. I drive her to her place. I'm with her. I don't leave her house. Then Tuesday, the owner signs the contract. I immediately send the contract to our foreclosure. Not foreclosure. We send it to our closing attorney. And in our mentoring group, our mentor give us a list of attorneys who are savvy when it comes to creative finance. That's very, very important too. Like, I'm dropping all kind of nuggets, but very important that everybody on your team understands how this stuff works, because they can make or break your deal, right? Again, the importance of networking. And our attorney that we use, he would come to the RIA meetings all the time and pass out his card. Again, the importance of networking, but also going to the local RIA meetings, right? Okay, so I'm sending the contract to him, and he was like, who are you? And when you're trying to close, and what is happening? Because the sale would have been that next Tuesday. And I was like, well, this is who I am. This is who sent me or whatever. He was like, normally I would have told you no, because there's no way possible. Because he's like, I still have to run title. You still have to. So when you do a subject to, we close. There's different ways to do it, but you close. You want to own it. So you close, then you reinstate it. And hope to God that it gets reinstated, because now you own it, and you could possibly own something and it get foreclosed on anyway. And 2 very important documents. I know I'm dropping a lot of nuggets here, but 2 very important documents in this space when you're doing this sub 2 deal, creative finances, is you want to get the mortgage payoff and the reinstatement letter. Join the gym and I can explain it to you more, right? Okay, so he agreed, but I had to come up with the money. I had to wire him money up front, like $1,000, something like that. So I wired the $1,000. I did have at least $1,000. That's why I say little money. I did have at least $1,000 saved, because I always tell people, I'm Coach Sapphire Star, right? I always tell people have an emergency fund. So I always have an emergency fund. So I wired the money. He got it started, but we had not had the reinstatement. And the reinstatement tells you to the dollar, to the penny, how much you need to reinstate the mortgage, because if you're short a penny, they can still foreclose. That reinstatement letter is so very, very important. And at this point, he scheduled the closing for that Friday before the Tuesday of the foreclosure. Oh, my Zoom went out. So we scheduled the closing, but we didn't have the reinstatement. So I'm just like, Jesus, what's going to happen? I don't know. Right? We was guessing with the reinstatement. It was like 11,000. I was like, well, I'm going to get 11,000 real quick, but okay. So it was estimated that it would be like 12,000, maybe, we don't know. And then closing costs and all that stuff. And so we get to close, still don't have a reinstatement. And prior to closing, now, again, I'm dealing with my friend who just lost her boyfriend, who suddenly died, very young, suddenly died. Then the owner is coming from, this owner had to move out of state, but they were coming to the house to get some stuff in Richmond Hill area. And so they said that they were going to just drive to Atlanta for the closing, because this is where I am at this time, right? And because, you know, at the attorney's office, they was like, well, if this person is in the Savannah, Richmond Hill area, then we can send a travel notary for them to sign the documents. But the owner was like, no, I'll come. Lord, the day of, the owner was like, well, I don't know. We don't have the reinstatement. Is this still going to happen? So she was about to go to the state where she was living at this point. I was like, no, it's going to work out. We're going to have it. Well, we didn't have it. Friday, closing time, I get to the closing table, signing documents and everything. We don't have the reinstatement, but hoping and praying, constantly like contacting the mortgage company, the foreclosure attorney, trying to get the information. It's craziness. And I'm like really, really sad for my friend, like really, really sad. But I'm trying to hold it together. Like I'm trying to hold this thing together. I'm trying to hold this deal together. I'm trying to hold my sanity together. I'm trying to hold it together, right? And so the owner finally makes it. She had traffic. Oh, I'm telling you, everything that could have happened did happen. So she finally makes it to close. I make it to close. We sign the documents. We don't have the reinstatement. So, but I now own the property that could be foreclosing on Tuesday. You have to like Tuesday morning before the sale to reinstate it. So Friday evening, we finally got the reinstatement letter and was able to, was like, okay, but it wasn't 12,000. It was like 16,000. I was like, I'm getting the money from. So the question is, where you get the money from is private money. Private money. So I borrowed the money from someone that I knew, right, with the sharing of the profits, right, offering them a return on their money, and it's a short-term loan to close on the deal. The money was wired, then the money to me, the money was then, the money was wired to the foreclosure attorney. The money was wired to the closing attorney, who then wired it to the mortgage company. So Tuesday, it was finally like the foreclosure was stopped. And now I have my first investment property that it had no equity. So it wasn't like I could just fix and flip it or anything like that. So the option was to make it a midterm rental so I took the property. I had to get the property painted. There was no stove. I had to buy a stove. I had to do light rehab on the property. I had to change the HVAC system. Again, very little money. So how did I do that? Business credit. If y'all have not taken my How to Build Business Credit or How to Get $100,000 in Business Credit in a very short period of time, go ahead and sign up for it. This is not a plug for it, but I'm just telling you that I give you the blueprint. I get a free checklist too on how to get started with that. But I use my business credit, all that business credit stuff that I was talking about. Like, I'm not just talking about it. I'm actually like real time using these strategies to be able to create wealth, right? So I use my business credit card to do all the light rehab, to pay my contractors, to furnish the property, and put it on Airbnb. So I closed on it like April 29th. And I had it up and running on the platforms. I use Furnish Finders because, again, I promote and I market to I market to travel healthcare professionals. So I put it on Furnish Finders. I did put it on Airbnb too, but again, long term, greater than 30 days. So by July, I had the property listed on these platforms. And mind you, I didn't know nothing about designs and decorating. Pinterest. But yeah, I use my business credit to be able to do those things. So private money to acquire it, business credit card to fix it up and everything. And now it's cash flowing 3 times the mortgage. So I pay the mortgage every month, right? But I don't pay the mortgage. The people that stay, the tenants pay the mortgage. I know people think, well, how do you pay? You're not paying that. Your tenants are paying that. So this is how this works. And then you cash flow on top of that. So now you have other people, you're using other people's money to be able to get the property, rehab the property, cash flow the property. And now I get checks every month, passive income, right? So do I have any questions? That was a lot. I'm telling you, I be trying to squeeze it all in. And I'm like, it still was a lot of things that was happening during that time. But it was just like craziness. It was craziness. And I was just like, when I filled out my purchase and sale agreement, that's the form that we use, the contract that we use. I put the number on the wrong line. I'm telling you, I didn't know what I was doing. Like fundamentally, I understood what was happening, but I really didn't know what I was doing. So if it wasn't for my mentor, if it wasn't for my real estate tribe, my partners that I work with, if it wasn't for them, this could not have happened. And these people I met at, different meetups and everything. If it wasn't for them, I would not be successful in my business. I would not have made my first closing. And so, the moral of the story is do it scared, no matter what. It's going to work out for you. And you have a friend in me. You have a friend in me. Listen, I'll help. Listen, because I want everybody to win, right? Now, my time is money. Don't get it twisted, right? My time is money, and I do charge for certain things, but like when it comes to my time, so if we talk about an hour or 2 or 3 hours of my time, then yes, that's a cost. But if you just have a question, if you want me to help you with comps, if you're like, well, how do I comp this deal? Join the gym. I will help. I'm gonna be offering a whole bunch of free stuff because I'm passionate about this. I can talk about it all the time. I'm passionate about it because y'all, if you know me, you know I love to travel. I ain't got time to be on any people's job. Like my last day at this job that I'm on now, only been here 13 weeks. I'm like, all right, Lord, thank you, but I'm good. I work 3 months out the year, and the rest, I'm gonna be gallivanting all over the world. Catch me in London, whining for Carnival. I am really lit right now. All right, what questions we got? Kim, I don't know what happened to the Zoom. I'm about to log back in. Double try. Girl, Disney though. Oh, my Geechee comes out on Friday too. Geechee Gullah down. As my cousin said, Geechee Gullah down. Like it comes out. I get real country in Geechee after 5 and the weekends. But girl, you remember, listen, my partner, Kimberly Gatlin, I love her to death. I told her today I bless God for her because I could not have done this by myself. I could not have done this without the support of my tribe, the support of my community, without my mentor, without people on my team to kind of help me through this. Even once I got the property, I remember when I got the property and it was just empty, like they had come, I found this contractor on Thumbtack. Thumbtack is a really good resource if you're looking for contractors or anything. I was sitting in the middle of the flow late. It was so overwhelming. I didn't know what to do. Like in terms of like getting it up and going, like I knew what to do, but it was just so much. Like I was like, I don't know how to decorate nothing. And so, oh my God, my cousin Joyce, thank God she came and it was like, okay, girl. So we went to some different stores to kind of give me some ideas. But then I started getting the ball rolling, and I was like, okay, just do one room at a time. And that's how I started because my space is a single family unit, but I rent by the room. So now I got 3-4 streams of income from that one unit. And I'm gonna add an ADU on the back. Come through. Like you ain't got to have a whole bunch of properties. I mean, that's good as well and everything, but make it do what you got. So I was like, do one room at a time. So I'm living in the place. I'm setting it up. I'm renting the rooms out. And Lord Jesus, I got stories about that too. All right, Kim, I'm about to get back on the Zoom. Does anybody have any questions? You know the feeling is certainly. Yes. And by the way, me and my partner, we're currently looking for private money lenders if you're interested on the project that we're working on now. And we always have deals coming through the pipelines. Listen, if you want to be a part of that, and you want to be able to make money, you want to get a return on your money, you want to get passive income, you want to be able to make your money work while you live your best life, listen, become a private money lender. And yeah, just if you want some more information, I'll send it to you. I'll send you the comps. I'll send you what we got going on, what we're working with and everything. And yeah. Hey sis, I see you on here. All right, let me see if I have any questions. Okay, so are you paying off the mortgage? No, Demetria, no. You are not paying off the mortgage. Because I think that mortgage was like 200 stacks, 200K. No, ma'am. I'm not paying off the mortgage. So subject to is basically, it's called subject to, what's it called? Yeah, subject to. And what it means is you're taking over the mortgage. It's not assumed either. It's not assumed. It's not assumed, because assume you have to qualify. You have to show some checks, you got to show some income. I had no job at the time. I had no job. I had done left. I was working in California. It was tripping because of the COVID and everything. I was like, I'm about to start my own company. I ain't got time for this. So I had done left California. I had no job. I had no check stubs. My credit was Gucci, but still, I was living on credit cards. My utilization was up. I was like, I ain't got it. So no, it's subject to the existing finances. So you're basically paying someone to take over their mortgage. The mortgage stays in their name. And what's very, very important, and I didn't really make this distinction when I first started out, and I think a lot of people don't, is ownership and debt is two different things. Two different things. Like I can go to the store right now and buy some groceries. Matter of fact, I just came from Whole Foods. I spent $67.53 on groceries. I swiped my American Express card because I like my points again to travel. So swipe my American Express card, right? They give me a receipt. I got my groceries, boom. If I walk out the store and hand them groceries and receipt to somebody that's outside, they now own the groceries. But who is still responsible for the debt? Me. But who owns the groceries? Them. So that's how it works. Debt and ownership, two separate things. It doesn't have to be your debt. That's the beauty of this. And then there's so many other creative ways to do it, because, if it's not sub 2, you could do a wraparound. If they own it outright, you could do seller finance. You could do a lease with the option to buy. You can do a lease purchase. There's so many ways that you can get in the deal without using your money. Wholesaling, hard money, private money. It don't have to be your money, other people's money. And y'all, listen, you may be saying, ain't nobody doing that. Listen, y'all are not in the right rooms. Y'all not talking to the right people. There are so many big money people out here who be more than willing to be like, here you go, especially to preserve their money. They be like, here you go, because I ain't got the time. I got the money, but I ain't got the time to be dealing with that. Here you go, make my money work for me. They gladly give it to you. I met a private money lender like in 1 week. I met somebody in 1 week, they loaned me 20 stacks. Didn't know them from Adam, but I was telling them what I do. And they was like, yeah, I want to be a part of that. So if you're around people that say, well, no, that ain't possible, you need to get some more people. You need to remove yourself from the people because they don't have the vision. Okay? They don't have the vision. All right. I hope that answered your question, Demetria. So you don't pay off the mortgage. You do have the deed, so you own it. Okay? You just got to change your insurance, because the insurance is in escrow in the owner's name. So you do got to change that. And that's a whole nother thing that you can do to get around that. And there is a risk called due on sale clause, which I don't have the energy to talk about right now, but there's ways around it too. I could do another video on that. All right, let me see. Any more questions? Oh, we litty today, tonight. It's nighttime over there where y'all at. It's daytime over here. My grandbaby used to say when I lived in Hawaii, and she would call me like, Nana, your son up over there? Yes, my son is the same son. I had to give her a whole lesson. I'm a scientist, I'm a biologist, and I had to give her a whole lesson about how the earth tilts and rotates on axis around the sun. So, all right. Yes, I just met one today in the nail shop. Period. I set a goal to raise $30,000 in 30 days, and guess what? It's gonna happen. And guess what? Stay tuned, because I'm gonna get to a point where I'm gonna be raising $1 million in 60 days, because I plan on getting a whole apartment building. I'm saying it right now because I believe in the power of manifesting. Even what is faith? Faith is believing in something, right, that you don't see, right? And things not seen, or I'm messing it up because I'm tired, but gotta have faith, and you gotta believe. So I'm gonna have me an apartment building soon, Be called the Sapphire. Yep. All right, y'all. We got to get this foreclosure list. We got to go through this list because I plan on making calls. Because again, and you can get multifamilies on foreclosure list too. Because people that have multifamilies, I had a quadplex, a deal that I'm hopefully being able to close on soon. It's a quadplex. It was in foreclosure, but you know the owner doesn't want to sell. But you know, no today could be yes tomorrow. So follow up. So stay tuned for that. But that's 4 units in Marietta. So y'all throw the prayers up because I believe in the power. When 2 or more come together, Shando. I promise all I had was water. I know it may not seem that way. Imagine if I was on some type of substance. Child, listen, we have fun around here. All right, Kim, I'm about to get, I don't know what happened. What happened? Let me see if I can get back on here. Get back on the Zoom. Do I have any more questions? It's Friday. Like, it's litty. What y'all got? I'm going to stay on here until I log into my Zoom. Because we got to get this list ready. Because I plan on making calls tomorrow. And I was going to be calling them on Sunday. But I was like, it's Mother's Day. Don't do that. So I won't be calling people on Sunday. But yes, I will be making calls. All right, let's see if this is working. All right, Kim, I think I'm back on. Yes, met one in the nail shop. Yup. Anybody can be your private lender. Because I'm telling you, like, 2 out of 4 people have money just sitting. I think it's like, it's like 7 out of 10 people have money just sitting in old retirement accounts that they're not using. Anybody can be your private lender. The grocer, the mailman, you walking down the street, the person walking their dog. Like, listen, I'm flying back to Georgia in a few weeks. And I'm going to go on a strong with anybody in here can be my private lender, especially in California. Like, every opportunity I get. All right, Kim, let me know if you can get, I think I'm back on. Shy is in the building. It's connecting. Kim, are you able to log on? I don't even know if you're still on here. All right, y'all. This done. Let me get to work. Y'all be great. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. I know you don't subscribe, but I just wanted to say that. Subscribe.